Welcome back to another session of understanding data frame, pyspark data frame. So this session will talk about how we can pull the data from JSON file or JSON data and create the data frame for further processing. Okay. Um, so if you talk about JSON, JSON is one of the standard format now we are using for data interchange between different application or different services. The reason for JSON format is it's very lightweight data interchange format, and everybody can easily understand um, the data inside JSON, right? And moreover, it's a language independent or platform independent, so we can easily integrate JSON file into our application. So we are going to use this data, the JSON data that I given here, and creating the data frame out of that uh, values. So um, to make use of this JSON data and create the data frame, we need to give the schema, right? So creating the schema and providing to the data frame that I have explained in my previous video, but here I'm explaining that again. So I'm considering all these field as a string field. So we need to import struct type, struct field, and string type from PySpark SQL types first, right? So as I told you, all the fields are string type. I can attach all the field values string type here in one shot. So using for loop, right? So struct field, I'll just open struct type, then struct field, and this is a field name which is coming from this for loop and providing the data type. So once we get all these field data type and the field we created on schema, the next is creating the data that you need to write or use it in the data frame, right? So here I given two values, the same values, the name Jitu, phone 445678889, it's a dummy phone number, and the address, right? And we have another value Newton and his phone number and the address. So two values are here. If you want to add, you can add more values. Then once we attach the data to this um, tuple, we are converting that into RDD. For that, we are using se dot parallelize and open bracket provide the data. Okay, that's tuple JS. Once the RDD is created, you can convert the RDD into data frame. So for that, you can use spark.create data frame RDD, then provide the schema. That's it. So you are able to create data frame. So you can see name, phone, and string, three fields attached to the data frame, and all are string values. Now, how we can select the data from here? You can select a JSDF, that is the data frame that you created, then dot select the fields inside the data frame. All right, so you got all the data from there. Now the next thing inside JSON that we need to understand is we can provide multiple values as an array in the JSON data. For example, if one object is having multiple properties, right? So instead of providing the properties in multiple line, we can give all the data associated to that object in an array. So how we can fetch the data from JSON array. We'll look into that. So for that, um, I'm creating another value. It's the same value as above, but added one more field, that is state lived. So for the state lived, we have multiple values. For example, this Jitu is lived in Delhi and Mumbai, right? And Newton is lived in Kerala, Bangalore, and Pune. So instead of creating different values here, right? Um, Different entries, we have created only one entry, and in the same entry, we have given uh, the values Delhi and Mumbai uh, to the states list. Okay, so we need to change the last field as an array type instead of string type, right? It's not only string type, but the string values are attached to the array. So we need to import array type from SQL types, pyspark SQL types. Then while creating the field, you need to make sure that this field is array and the data type is string type. Okay, let's execute this. Okay, so you can see that the last field that we added is came as array, and inside that we have one field that is string. Now how even if you select the data from this JSON file, JSON data frame, right? So these values will come in one record. It's not coming in multiple records. So for example, let's see what here we got this. So all these records, the first record is Delhi, Mumbai. It should come in the next line, right? Meaning the name Jitu lived in, the person Jitu is lived in Delhi and Mumbai. So it should generate two records if you want to save that in the table. And that is the easy method. Any data analyst or data scientist or anybody who want to refer the data frame or the table will be able to easily use if it is in a different uh, record instead of same record. For doing that, explode function in PySpark SQL help us to do, right? So what we can do, we can import the explode function from PySpark uh, .sql.functions. Then we can use that explode function that will do the job for us. It's pretty simple. So what we can do is select all the field that you require from the previous from the data frame that we just created. That is name, phone, address, and the last field. This last field contains multiple values stored, right? So that value we need to explode. So explode states lived dot alias I'm just changing the name status underscore lived to states. Okay, so what happens is once you explode these values, what happens is the person Jitu will have two records, and the person Newton contains three records because he lived in three states, right? Sorry, I just given state as Delhi and Mumbai. Yeah, so the data is completely flattened. Now you can store these values into table and make use of these values, and you can fetch the data using your normal queries, right? You don't need to struggle to fetch the data from the arrays. Now, in JSON file, what will happen if multi-line values are coming in? In the JSON, what we can do is we can have multiple properties as I showed you before, and inside the properties again that can have multiple properties. If the person is lived in different countries, so country and the country will have states, so he can live in different states inside the country. Again, he can live in different cities inside the state, so it will go on like that. So that's called the multi-line um, properties, right? Multi-line values. So let's see how we can do that. For that, I created one file. Let me open the file and show you how it is structured. um so this is the file I created for the demo, and this is the same example. I added more properties like country and state. So the main node is person. For this person we have two person included, right? Same thing, Jitu and Newton. And I have given the basic properties like phone and the country lived. So this person lived in two countries, India and United States. Inside India, he lived in Kerala and Karnataka. So provided some more properties inside the states, like state population. Uh, don't look at the number; it's just I given for this demo. It may be wrong. Same way, the country I have given United States. He lived in United States and different states, Georgia and California. Same way Newton was in Australia and two states he lived in. He also in the United States, right? So how we created this JSON file? So it started with curly bracket, and this is the main node, and I started the array bracket. This is an array, right? So this is one property, one person, one object, or whatever. And we have one more person which start with another curly bracket, right? And it close here. So these two belongs to person. And oh shit, let me open back. No, okay. So if you have a two records, then you need to start the open these square bracket and close the square bracket here, right? Then same way, once we want to give the property, then you start with the curly bracket again, provide these values. And if you see that one uh, property is having multiple values, then you need to start the array bracket again. Then here we are giving one value, then this is the second value. Then inside for the country, for the state, we have again two values. That's the reason we open this bracket. Then we have two values here, right? So the structure is like person, right? Person is two having properties, and inside person we have country, country having two properties. Then inside country we have state, right? So I have loaded this file into um, uh, um, in the Databricks file system, that is inside oh, JSON. Okay, no, file store train. Yeah, so we have the file here, person.json. Now let's load this file, JSON person file, and see how we can fetch the data. Okay, so this is how we are going to read from a JSON file, spark.read.option. And as I said, it is a multi-line file, so we have to provide the option like it's a multi-line. So once you give this option to true, Spark will make sure that the incoming file is a JSON file, which is incoming file is having multiple lines of JSON data, right? And dot JSON provide the file path. So once you execute this, it pulls the data from the file path and store it into multi-JSON data frame. And it automatically pick the structure: person, country lived, and country, state, right? Now, if you execute this, um, let's keep it, let's see how it is coming. Multi JSON df dot show, right? Yeah. So it came like this. It in only one record, one line. So how will you read this? It's very difficult, right? So as I shown below, above, we need to use the explode function again, right? So for that, we need to make sure, okay, what is the structure here? It is coming in from the JSON file. It's coming from person, right? So person is having multiple records. So uh, it's started with array. It's inside the array. So if it is an array, then we need to explode the records, and which will come in multiple lines. So for that same, I imported the explode function. Then this is the data frame, and select the field. We have only one field here, right? So person, I'm going to explode and provided the alias persons. Now let's see how it works. Okay, so now you can see we have a multiple lines, right? So this one and this one. So we have two records. Now once the array is exploded, we can access the values like name, phone, and country lived using dot. Okay, so you can use, you can see how we use that. So here, this is the result data frame that we got it from the above statement. Then you're selecting the fields that we need to show, right? So we have a person dot name. So this is the column name, and that column is having property like name, then phone number, then country lived. We cannot access the columns inside country lived by using dot, right? Because country lived is having another array, so we need to explode this again. That's the reason I exploded the country lived again. So once you explode, then again the values in this particular property you can um, pick it by providing dot. I have imported the function call and used here and here also, right? So I'm making sure that we are retrieving the column, the person dot name, and providing the alias as name. Same way here also, providing the name as phone. So the alias I given here is name, and here it is phone, and here it is country. So as I said before, person dot country lived, he's having multiple values that is stored as array. So we have to explode this again, right? Let's see what's the value we are getting. Yep. So you can see we have two values for the person G2 and two values for Newton, right? So let's go back to this file. So country lived, we have one value here for G2 and here this one. So each record, this particular two record will be coming as a different record instead of same record, right? Now again, inside state, we need to explode one more time because we have one more array inside this. So this will give you two more record for the person G2 and sorry, four more records like 1, 2, 3, and 4. And for Newton, we'll get again 4 records, right? So let's go and check here. Let me copy this here and put it in a different cell. Keep df1 dot show. So now we can see we got 2 more records here, right? So this become 4, and Newton also became 4 records. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now again state, as I said before, we exploded the state right here. Now what you can do, you can pick the values by using dot. So state dot name and state dot population. That's it. Now we can see all the data available in the JSON file is exploded, flattened into different records. Now we can store these records into the table or another data frame and do further processing, and it is easy to manipulate, right? So this is all I want to explain in this session, and if you have any question, uh, feel free to comment below and I can uh, take a look at the comment and reply back. So see you then. Enjoy your day. Bye bye. If you would like to receive more such videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you would like to connect with me, I have provided my details here, my email and LinkedIn. So thank you very much.